Mr. Cook of California.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once again, Ms. Slotkin, I apologize. I'm usually the one to ask the question about the role of Qatar, and you give me the same answer, and I understand what's going on. But I'm very, very concerned about Maliki and his credibility, which to me is absolutely zero. You know, we got the folks from that are representing Camp Liberty, Ashraf, and what has happened in the past, and you cannot overlook that. But what scares me even more was ISIL, ISIS, and the fact that they went in there and they defeated 4 divisions. You know, in the history of the United States Marine Corps, an organization the Marine Corps, the U.S. has never had 4 divisions in one place at one time. They had 6 in World War II. They had 3 on Iwo Jima since 1775. An organization like that has never, and you had 4 divisions, and you have a group that had pickup trucks, AK-47s, what have you. It just shows that in terms of, at least from a military person, the total lack of credibility in the Maliki government. And obviously, they don't have any trust, or the military, in the functioning or lack of functioning federalism. So I'm very, very pessimistic on the future in terms of reconstructing the military, particularly when he's Maliki and whoever's in there, if they're going to continue to go to the Iranians for the Revolutionary Guards, the Quds Force, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And with Hellfire missiles falling in the wrong hands, I'm just very, very nervous about this whole thing. It's been touched on a little bit, but I think from the United States that once again we have to recognize the changing geopolitical situation. It's already been discussed about Jordan, and I think you're absolutely right. If we are not ready to defend Jordan or be there for them, I think we're going to be in serious trouble. I'm a strong, strong supporter of Kurdistan. We have to recognize that, and the point has been made about not one person, military person, was killed in Kurdistan. The other one I want you to, and I've been bloviating, but I want to get your take on Turkey, on how in the past they might be influenced because they surround this area. And Turkey lately, and obviously Turkey is a big, big player where they are, also a member of NATO, and the fact that some of their behavior with the Muslim Brotherhood is very, very scary. Could you address that, please?
Turkey remains a close partner of ours, and yesterday, in fact, at the State Department, we had almost an all-day dialogue with a very senior delegation from Turkey about a whole host of issues, including ISIL. We recognize broadly that in order to really squeeze ISIL, I mean, when we focused on al-Qaeda in Iraq back in the 2007-2008 timeframe, we called it an anaconda strategy to squeeze their finances, their foreign fighters, everything. And it's really 3 prongs. First, you have to shut off the infiltration networks, and Turkey plays a big part of that. But Turkey will remind you that a lot of the source countries in which global jihadist fighters are coming into Turkey and then entering in Syria also have to do their part. We have to stop these people before they get on the airplanes, and then stop them if they do make it into Turkey before they get into Syria. That's critical. Secondly, denying them a safe haven in Syria, and that's why we're focused again on training the moderate opposition and finding a way to control space to ISIL in Syria, and then helping the Iraqis control their sovereign space in Iraq. That's extremely difficult, but that is the 3-pronged approach that we have to try to take against this. And the conversations yesterday with the Turks, led by our Deputy Secretary Bill Burns and their Undersecretary Feridun Sinirlioglu, were focused upon that. And I think we have a fairly common understanding of the way forward with the Turks on this.
No, I don't think I have much more to add, other than I think they've been living with the threat emanating from Syria for a long time. They are extremely focused on it. They are extremely focused on what's happening in Iraq. And as a NATO ally, we are talking with them every day. So I feel confident we know what they're focused on.
Okay. I'm playing beat the clock. If you could just comment again on the Quds Force, the Revolutionary Guard, and their influence right now, and whether they have replaced the American military. completely?
We remain the partner of choice for the Iraqis. I think there's no question about that. They've about $11 billion into the Federal Reserve and our FMS account, including about $193 million just last week. Again, I was there during this crisis, and there was a major vacuum, and Iran has stepped up in some ways to fill the vacuum in ways that we made very clear to the Iraqis are not particularly helpful.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
I yield back.